welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a short story about my pregnancy journey and my preeclampsia journey also. So preeclampsia is a major pregnancy complication that comes about due to high blood pressure, and high blood pressure in pregnancy is very dangerous because it causes a lot of pregnancy complications. You might have a miscarriage, the baby might die, you the mother might even have a stroke or even death if not handled early. So no wonder they're advised to always go for your antenatal appointments immediately you discover, from the time that you discover you're pregnant up until you deliver, so they can check if you have preeclampsia. They find ways of handling it and dealing with it before it reaches the extremes. So I started my appointment meetings immediately I found out I was pregnant, and my blood pressure was always normal from the time I knew I was pregnant to the time I discovered I had preeclampsia. I discovered I had preeclampsia in the 7th to 8th month of my pregnancy. I was around 34 weeks at that time when I discovered did I discover? I don't know, but that's the time that my blood pressure had risen a little. So mostly from the time I knew I was pregnant, my blood pressure was always between 110 and 110 over 80 to 120 over 80. It never went as high as 130. So when I went for my antenatal visit at 34 weeks, my blood pressure was 134. Anyway, that particular day I had walked from where I stay, from my home to the hospital. I wanted to exercise so I walked all the way, and immediately I arrived, they checked my weight and checked my blood pressure. They checked my weight and checked my blood pressure. Here, mama. Then when they checked the blood pressure, it was at 134 over 90. So the midwife was not really concerned because she thought, since I had walked all the way, maybe that's why the blood pressure was slightly high. And mainly 134 is considered slightly high. It usually gets back to normal later on. It's not really high blood pressure that it's not a cause for concern so to say. So but before that I was experiencing a headache. That week, the week I had gone for antenatal, I was experiencing a headache, and I told my midwife that. I told her I'm experiencing headache. So she said headaches usually in pregnancy are normal according to her, unless if the headache is affecting the eyes. She gave me some reasons. So, and she also gave me some Panadol, and I was put on a Panadol course. Anyway, so after that antenatal visit, my husband and I planned my husband planned to take me. We had agreed that I should go to Pika to go and deliver because my mom stays there, and it was my first pregnancy. I just wanted to be at home at my mother's place. So the following week after my antenatal visit, he drove me there and left me. At this point I was around 35 to 36 weeks. So he drove me there, and when he left, initially my legs started swelling around 5-6 months, but not so much. Like, they would only swell when I take long walks or if I'm in the same position for a long time. So I was advised to always elevate my feet. Whenever I'm seated on the couch, I was told to elevate them so that there's blood flowing from the hands to the legs. And let me tell you, I was looking like a baby elephant when I was pregnant. It's not an exaggeration. I became like, I was swollen. My face was puffy, my hands were puffy. I couldn't even fit. I think I removed my ring when I was like 3-4 months because my fingers were so swollen. Yeah, they had become thick. They were little thickishes. Both my fingers and my toes and legs were swelling from the time I was like 5 5-6 months. Anyway, so when I reached Mpika after the long drive, because Mpika is like 10 to 11 hours depending on what transport you're using. So when I reached Mpika, my legs started swelling more, and I thought maybe it's just because of the long journey, because I'm pregnant, heavily pregnant, because I had entered my last trimester, so I was heavily pregnant, and already I was carrying big. Like my pregnancy used to make the 10 before I 10. That's a joke. But anyway, I was so big, so big. Those that saw me pregnant can attest to this. I became huge. So even when my legs were swelling, it felt like it was just because I was carrying big. Anyway, so since I had entered my last trimester, during that appointment, the last antenatal visit, I was told I have to go to the clinic every 2 weeks because I was in my last semester and anything can happen. So when we arrived in Mpika, I was due for another antenatal visit in a few days. So after my husband left, I think he left on a Monday, I was due to go for antenatal on Thursday. My baby's EDD was 27th November. And because the EDD was 27th November, we were told she might come either earlier or later. And from the last ultrasound already, she was showing that she was still small. So I was expecting her to come most likely first week of December, not any time before. So on Thursday, on the 28th of October, I went to the hospital for antenatal. And when I went, I was not feeling any pain. I didn't have the headaches anymore. I was just huge. But my legs were swollen. I even waited in line because it was antenatal, so everyone was pregnant at that hospital. So they didn't even give me priority at the clinic. I went to the residential clinic that's near my mother's place. Hey, Mama. I went to the residential clinic that's near my mother's place. The nurses there checked my blood pressure and it was at 170/100. And then immediately she freaked. She got worried. What are you doing here? Why your BP is so high? Don't you know that you have high blood pressure? I'm like, no, I've never had high blood pressure in my life. And the last antenatal visit, my blood pressure was at 134. So I didn't know. I'm not feeling different. So she checked again. It was still 170/100. And she gave me 2 small pills. I think those were amlodipine, if I'm mistaken. So I drank the 2 pills that she gave me, and she told me immediately, now go home. If you have money on you, go home, get that money, go to microchilufyasata. Don't delay because your blood pressure is so high and we cannot reduce it from here. So at this point, I began to freak out a little bit because I'm thinking, like, is my baby fine? That was the only thing that was going through my mind. Is my baby fine? So I quickly rushed home. I got the money. I got some money. I got my antenatal card. And I was just wearing a wrapper with a short mini dress inside. So I went to Michael Sata Hospital. It's a few hours away from home, from my place. It's on the other side of town, so to say. When I arrived, they checked my blood pressure at the OPD. Then I was told, your blood pressure is still 170/100. So you have to go to the clinic officer. And because my blood pressure was high, I was not even made to wait in line. I immediately went to the clinic officer. And then he told me, we have to admit you. I didn't carry anything else. I just had my chitenge and dress because I thought, I don't know what I thought. I just thought that I'll just go to the clinic, they give me medicine, I go back home. So after he told me he was going to admit me, I quickly I tried calling my mom. Unfortunately, she had gone to the farm. She went to take some chicken feed and some other farm supplies. So her phone was not going through. And I was now panicking because firstly, I carried, okay, from Lusaka, I had bought 98% of everything I needed. The only thing that was remaining was cotton wool and a bucket. I couldn't carry a bucket and dishes from Lusaka to Mpika because the vehicle we're using was quite small. Anyway, that's besides the point. So when he told me I was going to be admitted, he then put a cannula. After putting the cannula, he even started conducting some sort of lesson on me. No, this lady, he pushed down his finger on my on my legs, and the skin couldn't go up. So he was telling the students, no, this lady has preeclampsia. You can see the signs. She's got swollen feet. She's got a swollen face. Anyway, so after he admitted me, I was sent to one of the labor wards that was right opposite the delivery room. And a few minutes later, they had I was told to lay down on the bed. Then they put a drip with some medicine. Then I started receiving the medicine through the cannula. Anyway, I think 1 or 2 hours later, the doctor came to see me. And then he told me, no, you have a condition called preeclampsia. When last was your antenatal visit? Then I showed him the card. Then he goes puzzled. How is it possible that you can go from normal range BP to extremely high BP in less than 2 weeks? I'm like, I also don't know because I didn't change my diet. So he asked me, where is home? I'm like, home is Lusaka. When did you come? Then I explained to him. So he goes like, maybe it's because you traveled this long distance. That's why your BP went that high. But still, preeclampsia is a very dangerous disease. So he explained to me the side effects. He explained to me the symptoms. And then these are symptoms that I was experiencing, but I just didn't think of because my BP was always usually normal. It was always normal. So I didn't think much about it anyway. So he tells me, thank you for watching. Don't forget to share, comment, subscribe. I want you to ask me questions because I feel like preeclampsia is very prevalent, but it seems to be a hush topic among us pregnant women.